people always ask me, they'll say, well, why'd you change the name? I said, well, save Nitro and Amplifon and save Citizen if you still have that.
That's a great question. We get the name all the time, and no, we are not a base-based organization.
Proprietary software that can help map the entire land area that we're looking at to basically look and see where the issues may be quicker, faster, and safer.
This is the Oil and Gas Contractors Connect podcast with your host, Ryan Ray.
Welcome to another edition of the Oil and Gas Contractors Connect. I'm your host, Ryan Ray, as always. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the show where we bring you upstream, midstream, downstream, any part of the oil and gas business. We bring on the folks from around the world to tell you what they do, where they're at. The show is always sponsored by R Squared Global, engineering, surveying, right-of-way, GIS, anything along those lines. Go to GoR2.com, reach out to the folks there, and be happy to help you out. Today, we have on Chad Collins, who is the owner of Kingdom Chemical, which is a distributor of oilfield chemicals based out of Denver, Colorado. Chad, how's it going, sir?
Oh, beautiful. Great day up here in Denver. It's fall is in the air and couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it's got to be cooler than it is down here in Texas. We're recording this on September 30th, and we are like 10 to 12 degrees above our seasonal high right now, and so it just stays warm, it feels like.
That's great. I was up in the mountains all weekend, and it got down to 30 degrees yesterday morning.
Oh, wow. That must be nice. So Kingdom Chemical, what's in a name? Tell us, is there a reason behind the name, or does it tell us anything particular about your business?
Yeah, so there is a reason behind that name. I'm a Christian, God-fearing man, and I try to do everything the way the Bible kind of instructs us. And so my whole career has been based on that. And I just said, you know what, God, if you want me to open up a company, I'm going to try to put something in it to where people can get a hint that, this is just a guy trying to do the Lord's work, so to speak.
Okay, and you said that in the introduction, we said that you guys distribute oilfield chemicals. What kind of chemicals do you distribute?
So we are kind of a unique company in the aspect that we work directly with the manufacturer of the chemicals, and so companies come to us to kind of cut out the middleman, so to speak. We go direct to the manufacturers in Houston. We're also an importer from chemicals from India. And so it's just a way to take out the middle guy, and companies can buy our product and then they put their own name on the side of it if they choose. Kind of not the big flashy companies that you see out there in the oil fields with their big fancy trucks and whatnot. We're just a company selling chemicals is basically all we're doing. We offer. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say we offer like a different type of chemical too. So every time you see a chemical in the oil field, it's either in a big tote or in a drum, which is in liquid form. Our chemicals that I primarily try to market come in powdered form, which makes that unique is also when you see these chemicals getting transported, they got a hazmat and all the different placards all over the trucks because they are hazardous when they're in liquid form. But when ours is in powdered form, according to the Department of Transportation, they are considered non-hazardous. Mm-hmm. So it takes a lot less money to transport our chemicals and to apply them than the liquid guys.
So, yeah, let's break down this for the listeners who aren't maybe in the upstream part of the business. We're saying chemicals and we're saying powder, but what exactly problems are you guys trying to solve or prevent with your chemicals?
Right. So we have corrosion inhibitors, we have surfactants, we have biocides. Our most important one, in my opinion, is the H2S scavenger that we've got. We've got a whole line of chemicals that treat saltwater disposal wells. We've got powdered acid. Mm-hmm. Kind of you name it. There's really... Yeah, you look at a pamphlet and there's probably 1,000 chemicals in there, but they all kind of stem down to the main things of corrosion inhibitors, scale inhibitors, H2S scavengers. That's the basic ones. And every one of those is just a different variation of each.
Yeah. One of the things I'd like for you to break down for the listeners is H2S. Let's just talk about that briefly. We took some H2S training. God, it's been a while back now. I don't even remember. But and one of the things they told us is that when you deal with H2S, if the alarm goes off, run. Don't worry about your buddy. Just run, because it is so deadly. So, and I was kind of stunned at just the reality of being around a project that it could have something so deadly. Is that still the perception around the industry? Has there been things to advance warning signs? I know you guys are dealing with it from a chemical standpoint, but maybe some stuff about H2S just from a general education standpoint I left out that the listeners should be aware of.
So part of my background is I started an oil company in North Dakota about 5 years back, and we have wells that have upwards of 70,000 parts per million H2S in the stock tanks. So the pumper, myself back in the day, would go up to the top, put your gauge tape in there, pull it back out. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, your alarm's going off like crazy, and they always tell you, just stay, upwind from the source of the H2S, blah blah blah, and you have your masks on and everything like that. So yeah, it's still, you can put sensors in your tanks. There's always a company out there trying to sell you all this stuff to put a sensor for advanced warning and this and that, mm-hmm. which is great, but maybe they work, maybe they don't. So from my experience of dealing with the H2S and breathing some of that stuff in, golly, it is, I'm sure you've breathed it before, and it hurts. It's mm-hmm. horrendous. So the reason why I'm passionate about this is I've experienced H2S firsthand. I've had buddies that I've seen pass out because of it. I've got a landowner up there that hasn't been able to smell for the last 35 years because he breathed in H2S when he was 8 years old.
Wow.
So I see this as a very a human health standpoint, not to mention the environmental disasters it can cause. So our product, we just eliminate it. So sulfur reducing bacteria is what creates H2S gas. We kill the bacteria. If you kill the bacteria, you don't have any H2S gas. So it's as simple as that, right? But all companies I'm familiar with scavengers, they don't do that.
Right.
They mask the H2S. They apply more chemicals into a system, which I've used some H2S scavengers that have a health rating of 4 on the placard. That's not, maybe you're better off to have the H2S than these carcinogenic scavengers out there on the market,
And it's not just the health risk to the human element. You also have money that's being lost because of the corrosive nature of the gas.
Right, and that was one of my next bullet points I was going to bring up. $6 billion a year is what costs the oil industry in corrosion caused by H2S. It is, it's expensive. If you're running a big offshore system or refinery, my goodness, I can't even imagine the maintenance issues that those folks have to deal with on a daily basis just from that stuff. I mean, I've seen H2S, you put some pipe in the ground. Granted, you got different grades of pipe you can use that are resistive to H2S, but if you didn't have the right pipe in the ground, you can take a hammer and break it. It just can take a hammer and turn it into brittle nothingness in no time.
So one of the things you mentioned a minute ago was the bacteria, and you kill the bacteria. What kind of process is this? Is this immediate? Is it multiple steps involved? How long does this take?
So it's pretty simple. It's quick. It's effective. If you're familiar with bleach, which we all are, everyone knows that kills pretty much every bacteria there is. But our product kills even more bacteria than bleach. Bleach is hypochloric acid. Our product, when you mix with H2O, creates hypochlorous acid, which is the non-hazardous cousin of bleach. It's more effective than bleach, and it's non-corrosive. So we kill the bacteria through electrical reduction. So this is where we kind of bring some really neat chemistry into this equation, is we kind of add a positive charge to the water, and through that, on a microscopic level, actually at the atomic level, we're removing one electron out of H2S. When you do that, you're left with one molecule of water and one molecule of elemental sulfur, which is non-hazardous in its elemental form. That's how we neutralize H2S. When we kill the bacteria, We also remove one electron out of it, and it instantaneously explodes the cell wall of 99.997 to the logarithmic of all bacteria on Earth. It kills anthrax, it kills HIV, botulism, E. coli, salmonella, anything out there, basically. It kills it instantaneously.
And so, just for a listener or myself even who hears this and goes, okay, fantastic, you killed it. When you kill it, does it grow back in a year? You killed almost all of it, so you have a small residual there, or is it almost never going to grow back? What is kind of the potential threat for having to go back out there and do this again?
So it will grow back, because the way H2S is generated, whenever you're at the ocean and you kind of smell that rotten egg smell in a bay, that is the first levels of H2S being generated in an anaerobic, non-oxygen environment. So I'm also a geologist by degree, so I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to science. The carbonate reservoirs of the oil and gas industry, which makes up like 60% of all oil production in the world, they all have H2S in them, just because of their depositional environment nature. So as your well is drilled and it's producing, we go in there and we kill all the H2S that's inside the well bore at the pipe. Well, it's great. There's no longer any sulfur reducing bacteria. But just to the nature of the geology, more and more H2S bacteria are coming into the well bore every day. So what we do is we go out there, we kill the big bacteria bloom, and then for 1 month, we'll treat your well site every 10 days for the first month. And then after that, you may only need a treatment once every 6 months.
So let me ask you this. What would you say to people who go, okay, that's great, you're killing the H2S, but you mentioned you're going to kill all kinds of stuff. Is there a long-term downside to killing other bacteria that might just happen to be in the hole as well?
So the answer to that is no, because bacteria in oil is always a bad thing. There's never a need for bacteria inside your crude oil or your natural gas.
So yeah, well, let me rephrase it maybe then. For maybe it's an environmentalist go, no, you know what? Hey, you're going to kill everything, including the H2S, which I think everyone would agree is bad. Is this something that maybe an environmentalist group goes, oh man, you're killing this type of bacteria as well, and that's going to be harmful for the long term, ecology of the area? Yeah,
right. No, I see where you're going with that. No. There is not a worry for that, because we're only treating the wellbore, the flow lines in your production facility, and your storage tanks. Outside of that, it will never touch a lake, a pond, wherever the environmental folks could be concerned, which also brings me to my next point. Our product is an EPA-approved biocide H2S scavenger. It's one of the few on the market that the EPA has approved. We have a patent and everything on it with the EPA. Traditional H2S scavengers, this is kind of like more maybe a broad picture of the whole equation here. Traditional H2S scavengers can last up to 27 years inside a crude oil sample. Our product has a 30-day lifespan. Why is that important? Crude oil, by the time you deal with it at the wellhead, to the tanks, to the pipeline, to the refinery, is about a 30-day process. After that, you don't need that chemical any longer.
Right.
Because the oil's already been refined and it's made into gasoline or whatever the thousands of different products we make. Why on earth do you need something to last 27 years when you only need it to last for 30 days? That is where the new modern technology and just the new age way of thinking.
Sorry about that. I pressed the wrong button. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. So, we don't need chemicals to last for 27 years anymore. That's just the dinosaur way of thinking. So we come in, we hit your oil, your natural gas, whatever it is you got a problem with, even your produced water. We hit it quick. You only need this product to be effective for sometimes even a couple of hours. So we come in, we get rid of your product or your problem, and you're off to the races. Refineries, a lot of people don't think about this, but from a production standpoint, you pump a lot of chemicals down into your wells, into your stock tanks, everything. That chemical is then put through the pipeline and goes to a refinery. A refinery is not designed to handle all these different types of chemicals. They're designed to handle crude oil. So whenever you get to the downstream part of everything, man, this product, it eliminates headaches at refineries, which is a big deal.
Okay, so one of the questions we've tried to ask almost all of our guests is this. Let's say that you're meeting with a client, advising a client. What are some of the things that might seem small in the beginning that you try to flesh out early on, or they could become big deals later on down the road?
Yeah, so my three main points is our product is safe, it's effective, and it's EPA approved, and it's safe. It's cost effective. The main points are, if you're selling crude oil and it's sour, which mind you 60% of the world's production is, you're taking a huge hit on your price at which the market will pay for your oil. Our wells up in North Dakota, if you had sweet crude, you're looking at a $5 discount to WTI to get it down to market. If you are with sour crude, anything over like 10 parts per million H2S, that discount in some cases doubles and almost triples to $16 a barrel discount. So we had a well that made about 20 barrels of oil a day and, probably 100 barrels of water, but it was sour oil. Well, that well's no longer economic to operate because of all the repairs you got to do, and the price of oil is even, it's worth less than a sweet well. So that's one of my main points to customers is that, look, we're going to come in and you're going to not only is your equipment going to last longer, but you're going to get more oil, more money for your end product, which is the point of every oil company out there. And your employees are going to be working in a safer environment.
Okay, I believe the website is ecoridgellc.com, ecoridgellc.com. We'll link to that in the show notes. Chad, is there anywhere else people can find you if they have questions, can reach out to you?
My email or my cell phone. I don't know if I'm allowed to give that out.
Yeah, it's yours. Hey, it's yours to give out. So,
yeah, my cell phone is, like I said, we're a kind of a starter up company. Been around 10 years, but we're just trying to get our name out there. We got the website ecoridgellc.com. The best way to get a hold of us is my cell phone, area code 720-737-1398. And my email, pretty simple as well, ccollins, that's 2 C's and 2 L's, .chad@gmail.com. I've got more than enough information I can send your way. Can meet with you anywhere, talk with you about anything. I got a whole team of extremely smart folks that can really get in the nitty-gritty details if you need. We got PhD chemists, we got PhD physicists, manufacturing folks, just a team of extremely smart individuals. In fact, the leader of this company, my boss and mentor, was the president of Koch Industries for 10 years. So he's got an amazing group of people that have helped put this together, and we can take care of you.
Okay, Eco Ridge LLC again is the website. Chad, thank you so much for coming on, and listeners, we will talk to you next week.